My rival directly handed me 5,000 to make me leave my aloof female boss, Liu Ruyan. I thought to myself, it'll just take the 50 million. But I still won't leave. It'll just act cheeky. I just want to see if you explode or not. As a result, that night the aloof female boss cornered me in the bedroom. I heard he offered you 5,000, and you didn't leave, as expected of the man I chose. Here, there's 80 million in this card. For you, spend it however you like. The cost was my boss giving me 500,000. Whoa, renting a boyfriend to go home for the new year. What a trope, I said. I absolutely didn't expect. The boss's childhood friend is a green tea. The boss offered to wash the dishes. The childhood friend was being passive-aggressive in public. I didn't go to help. I also acted passive-aggressive towards him. If she likes to wash, let her wash. I'm already exhausted. Making me wash dishes and do chores during the day. At night, I still have to serve her. Please, let me rest for a bit. Haha, messing with me. You've really kicked an iron plate. Liu Ruyan dishwashing movements clearly paused. The huge house was so quiet, you could hear a pin drop. Uncle Liu was the first to stand up, pacing back and forth in the room. Aunt Li's expression was complex. Her restless little hands rubbed back and forth on her knees. He Tiang is visiting as a guest for the first time. How can we let him wash the dishes? Auntie scolded affectionately. Oh my, it was my lack of consideration. But I also feel bad for Sister Liu Ruyan. It's Boss Lias, not Liu Ruyan's hands. Our hands meant to direct the world. How can they be used to wash dishes? How about this, Yahweh? You go help. Since you care so much about your sister. Yang Xiwei's face turned pale. Inconvenient, you're inconvenient. Does that mean I'm inconvenient? I still have to serve in bed later, right? As the saying goes. Well said, a full man doesn't know a hungry man's hunger. A hungry man doesn't know a full man's weakness. Little brother, I get tossed around half to death every time. Aunt Lo couldn't listen anymore. Bouncing up from the sofa like a rabbit. Daughter, mom and dad are coming to help you. Yang Xiaowei was both angry and anxious. In front of the elders, you have no shame. I picked a cherry and stuffed it into my mouth, smiling harmlessly. What is shame? How much is it per pound? Yang Xiaowei really doesn't know what sister sees in you. Maybe she likes my solid skills. Clang, Aunt Li dropped the spoon into the sink, looking at me with an awkward smile. My hand just slipped. I walked into the kitchen. Just leave it to me and Ruyan here. Aren't you inconvenienced? I pouted towards Yang Xiaowei's direction. I was intentionally pissing him off. Aunt Lu understood and tapped the tip of my nose and went out smiling. The kitchen is very big, but the sink is only half a square meter. In order to share the faucet, Liu Ruyan and I stood very close. The sleeves of her loungewear were rolled up to her elbows by Liu Ruyan, revealing a section of snow-white arm. Her hand along with the washing bowl movements pressed against mine bit by bit. I shifted to the side a bit. Liu Ruyan snorted a laugh through her nose. I thought you were a harmless little sheep. Didn't expect you to be so good at roasting people. What? I roasted him and you feel bad? Roast? Who could out-roast you? Being passive-aggressive to me. Didn't you say there's no need to be polite? On the way home a few days ago, besides introducing her parents to me, Liu Ruyan also emphatically introduced Yang Xiaowei, a childhood friend who is hard to describe in one word. This is Liu Ruyan's definition of Yang Xiaowei. Said to be childhood. Sweethearts, but actually we don't have much of a relationship. Just neighbors for a few years when we were very young. Later, coincidentally, we attended the same university. He had wicked thoughts about my looks and tried to pounce on me several times, and coveting my money. So every spring festival he doesn't go home, and comes to my house. My dad is soft-hearted, remembering the old days, and is too embarrassed to tear up their face and issue an eviction order. But his mom gambles recklessly, and his dad commits fraud. He is unenterprising and vain, and solely wants to be a wealthy family's son-in-law. Forget it, it's not good to speak ill of others. In short, our whole family disagrees with this marriage. So Liu Ruyan's fingers tapped on the steering wheel one by one. She turned to look at me, her narrow phoenix eyes under half-rimmed gold glasses hiding a smile. So if he causes trouble, you don't need to hold back. Understood. No wonder you spent 500,000 to rent me to go home. So it's to send away the plague god. I patted my chest. Leave it to Xiao Qiang. Mission will be accomplished. At that time, Liu Ruyan laughed very heartily. Why are you now being sarcastic and harsh to me? I dissatisfiedly squeezed the dishwashing sponge hard and muttered softly. You clearly said it yourself. If he causes trouble, I don't need to hold back. Now you're being sarcastic to me. Liu Ruyan chuckled softly. Weren't you tortured half to death by me? Do you still have the strength to squeeze the dishwashing sponge? With your small physique, you still want to torture me? Liu Ruyan's hand paused. She leaned in to look at me, her gaze dangerous. Want to give it a try? Hiss, what kind of wild words are these? I quickly made a gesture of surrender. I was wrong, boss. But Liu Ruyan didn't intend to let me go. She extended her dripping wet hand in front of my eyes and lightly flicked it. Fine water droplets splashed all over my face. I let out a low cry and kicked her calf. Liu Ruyan hooked her long arm, clamped my neck, kicking me. He Tiang, you've got some nerve. Believe it or not, I'll really torture you. Liu Ruyan is my senior. We met in the guitar club during my freshman year. She was a first-year grad student. At first, we were both ordinary college students. The only difference was that her grades were very good, getting scholarships every year, while I was ignorant and incompetent, playing on my phone during class, playing games after class, cramming right before exams, passing entirely depended on teachers' mercy. There was another difference. Liu Ruyan was beautiful. Boys chasing her in school lined up in long queues, and I had nothing to do with being handsome. A little over 1.7 meters tall, skinny with a square round face, single eyelids. At that time, the boys in the guitar club, every single one of them secretly had a crush on Liu Ruyan. And I deeply felt I wasn't good enough for her, taking the initiative to maintain a friend's distance. Neither too cold nor too warm, neither too far nor too close. The strange thing was, Liu Ruyan politely rejected all the boys who pursued her, but was willing to talk a bit more with me. Probably because she felt I didn't covet her beauty, making it safer to interact with me. I've digressed. Back to the opening sentence. At first, we were both ordinary college students. Later, Liu Ruyan started running a media account. Originally just doing it for fun. Unexpectedly, it got better and better, and bigger and bigger. In just 2 short years, her total followers across the internet approached 100 million. By the time I graduated, he has already stepped back to the second line, started the company, and became the boss. How should I put it? Other people's success might be luck, but for Liu Ruyan to reach this point, I'm not surprised at all. She is both hardworking and smart. Success is inevitable. On the contrary, I failed my postgraduate entrance exam, missed the campus recruitment, lost the status of a fresh graduate, and it's hard to find a job. I started a small live stream, playing Honor of Kings every day. The pay is not high, but barely enough to feed myself. Living frugally, doing odd jobs on one hand, and looking for a job on the other. I was doing really miserably. On my 22nd birthday, I posted a moment's update. Even if I'm down and out, I must have a happy birthday, accompanied by 3 pictures, a steamed bun with a candle, a plate of pickles, and a bowl of crystal clear porridge. That night, Liu Ruyan sent me a message. I need a planner. Are you interested? Sure, why wouldn't I be? But senior sister, I don't know how to do planning. Learn if you don't know. So I joined Liu Ruyan's company. She paid me according to the highest tier of salary, and even skipped the probation period. I was grateful to Liu Ruyan for pulling me out of a difficult situation, so I worked desperately, willing to work like a horse for her. So when Liu Ruyan rented me to accompany her home, I agreed without a second thought. At first, I also worried that she had improper thoughts about me. But then again, with Liu Ruyan's conditions, if she really had thoughts about me, I would actually be the one profiting. On the 7th day of the Lunar New Year, Liu Ruyan and I set off back to Nanzhou. Auntie Liu gave me a very large red envelope. I'd already taken 500,000 from Liu Ruyan, and being a fake, how could I have the nerve to accept Auntie Lia's money? She insisted I take it no matter what. When Ruyan was in grad school, she often mentioned you back then, hearing about you every year. We finally get to see you this year. This little money is auntie and uncle's token of appreciation. You must take it. From now on, treat this place as your own home, and come back to visit when you have time. Liu Ruyan took the red envelope and put it in my pocket. This is my parents' approval of you. Just accept it, since she said so. It would be impolite for me to decline further. Thank you, and auntie. Take care of your health. Auntie Liu and Uncle Liu nodded with a smile, watching Liu Ruyan and me get in the car. In the rearview mirror, their figures grew smaller and smaller. I let out a long sigh of relief, sinking my whole body into the leather seat. Boss, I acted pretty well, right? Bad, if there's this kind of job next year. Xiao will come again. Liu Ruyan chuckled softly. Sure, you can come every year. Wait a minute. Suddenly remembering Auntie Lia's words just now. Hearing you mention me every year. Yeah. You were talking about senior brother Zhuang, right? Did Uncle remember the wrong person? Senior brother Zhuang? Who Zhuang fan? Back then you two, one was the president of the student union, and the other was the vice president, hosting the welcome party every year, standing on the stage. Now that's what I call a perfect match. As for the rumors about you two, even without a whole box, there's still a whole basketful. I leaned in with my gossip face. You and Senior Zhuang. Are you guys dating Liu Ruyan or what? He tapped my head with his knuckles. Not too hard, not too light. What's wrong with your brain? I don't even like Zhuang fan. Why would I kick him? Then why'd you kick me? Because you like me? At the red light, Liu Ruyan suddenly slammed the brakes, stopping behind the crosswalk. Then he turned to look at me. He-jiang. Let's give it a try. Didn't you just ask me if I like? Popeye tore open a bag of chips, grabbed two and stuffed them into my mouth. I didn't hear clearly what he said. Liu Ruyan shot me a huge eye roll. I pinched a whole chip, brought it to his mouth. Want one? It's really good. Junk food. I'm not eating it. Come on, just one bite? I leaned in even closer, trying to feed it to him, and my finger accidentally brushed Liu Ruyan's lips. Soft, warm, moving slightly. How am I supposed to eat it? Liu Ruyan grabbed my wrist, opened his mouth wide and took the whole chip in, and accidentally sucked on my fingertip. A tingling shiver rushed through me, and my heart skipped a beat. Messing with a woman like Liu Ruyan is seriously deadly. The light turned green. Liu Ruyan acted like nothing happened, and kept driving. I quietly ate my chips, unable to stop replaying what I just felt. Shy, flushed, burning hot. What did he say just now? Let's give it a try. I could die laughing. Was he trying to make it real after pretending? The thought flashed by, and I immediately shot it down. The guys chasing Liu Ruyan could circle Nanzhou once, so how could he possibly like me? Then what he said like a bright spark suddenly surfaced in my mind. I get it. Boss, you mean you want me to try being a content creator? He mentioned it to me before, saying the company wanted to cultivate a group of creators. With my looks, how could I possibly make it in that line of work? You should find someone else. Boss Liu Ruyan chuckled softly. You know, sister, you. Of course she went from the fields to the national stage, a supermodel. What do you think she looks like? She's not a traditional beauty, but that doesn't stop her from rocking size 45 shoes. Exactly, so what are you still insecure about? Beauty has many definitions. If everyone looks the same, people get aesthetic fatigue. Besides, in the rearview mirror, his gaze met mine. You're handsome. I don't know what possessed me, but his praise made my face burn red. I stared straight ahead, avoiding his eyes. Boss, just to dump more work on me. You'll say anything. After that, Liu Ruyan fell silent. By the time we got back to Nanzhou, it was already night. Liu Ruyan drove me into the complex, parked, then took the New Year goods out of the trunk. Hey, why are you taking those out? Aren't they what your dad prepared for you? For you. Liu Ruyan hummed in confirmation. I can't cook. Taking them back would be a waste. Almost all of it was stuff I love to eat. I swallowed. That's really too kind. I feel bad. This is all Auntie Li's love for you. You know how to cook, right? Yeah, you're in charge of cooking, and I'm in charge of eating. Now you won't feel awkward about it, right? I guess that works. But you can't come to my house to eat every day. Liu Ruyan raised her eyebrows. I guess that works. I chuckled a few times, and politely refused. I share an apartment with Chenzi, so it's not very convenient. Chenzi from the finance department, right? Then it's indeed quite inconvenient. Liu Ruyan said, putting a bag of spicy snacks back. Hey, I quickly stopped her. I mean the apartment is too small. It can't fit a supreme deity like you. She picked up another bag of braised snacks and put it back in the trunk. But I raised my voice. I can cook it the night before, and bring it to the company the next day for your lunch. What do you think? Liu Ruyan stared at me like a fox eyeing a rabbit. The corners of her mouth turned up high. Okay, it wasn't until I sent Liu Ruyan off, looking at the mountain of ingredients in the kitchen, that I suddenly realized I seemed to have become Liu Ruyan's pawn. How did I inexplicably become her chef? Evil capitalist. Just as I was thinking this, a ruler was thrust in front of me. Mr. He-Tiang, confess honestly, when did you win over the boss? The person asking this was none other than my roommate and colleague and bro, Chenze. How is that possible? The boss just gave me a ride on the way and helped me bring up the local specialties. Chenze snorted twice. It's one thing to pretend with others, but you're pretending with me? What the boss is like, do I not know? Usually in the company she's so aloof and calm. Even in summer, her skirt is buttoned to the last button. Would this kind of person give a male subordinate a ride home on the way? I wouldn't believe it even if you beat me to death. Besides, your hometown is in Sichuan, and her hometown is in Suzhou. That's really on the way. Chenze picked up a bag labeled Suzhou Specialties. Is this your Sichuan cuisine? I laughed awkwardly. I really can't hide anything from you. So I confessed everything that happened these past few days in detail. Chenze's eyes widened. She really gave you 500,000? Yeah. This matter is known only to heaven and earth. You and me. Don't tell anyone else. Chenze held his palm up. Hush money. I quickly transferred 2,000 to him. Chenze smiled from ear to ear. Oh, don't worry. My lips are sealed. He received the red envelope and said seriously, setting aside her identity as the boss. Does Liu Ruyan like you? My heart skipped a beat. No way, and not good enough for her. Chenze poked my head. There's no such thing as being good enough or not. Liking someone is a feeling. It doesn't need a reason. Let me ask you, how do you feel about Liu Ruyan? Just the feeling of a junior to a senior, an employee to a boss. Not even a tiny bit of liking? No. Knowing Liu Ruyan for so many years, and seeing so many of her shining points, anyone would be moved. How could there not be? I lowered my eyes, and said stubbornly, no, I don't deserve her. Chenze was frustrated with me. You, once bitten by a snake, 10 years afraid of a well rope. When I was young, I was often laughed at because of my looks. Tall and thin, single eyelids, a flat nose bridge, and a square round face. They said I looked like a happy toad. The girl I liked had her birthday. I saved my pocket money for a long time, and bought her a basketball. She asked me in front of the whole class, do you aliens also play basketball? The whole room burst into laughter. I was already lacking confidence, and became even more insecure after that, feeling that someone like me doesn't deserve love. So today when Liu Ruyan praised me as handsome, even though her tone and eyes were very sincere, even though my heart was pounding like a deer, I didn't dare to face her. She was like the brightest star in the sky, and I know myself well enough. Someone like her is not someone I can dream of. Rather than starting a fruitless secret crush, it's better to stick to the position of a friend. On the first day back to work, I met an unexpected person. Zhuang Fan through a glass wall. He and Liu Ruyan were talking about things in the meeting room. Zhuang Fan was wearing a black sweater with a camel coat over it, and the woman sitting next to him was in a work uniform. Black-framed glasses. Thick eyebrows and big eyes. With a camera placed in front of her. Do you know him? Also from your school. Chenza leaned over and asked me. I nodded. Back then, he was Liu Ruyan's rumored boyfriend. Yo. Why do I smell a hint of jealousy? I spat. Screw you, Chenza said seriously. The boss invited him over to discuss sponsorship. I heard he's a rich third generation. Doesn't want to live off his parents. Starting his own clothing brand business. Chenza clicked his tongue. His whole outfit looks low-key, but is actually luxurious and tasteful. I rolled my eyes at him, knowing so much about it. Working in finance is really a waste of your talent. Why don't you be an outfit blogger? The company is short of people right now. Chenza chuckled. How could I? You've been internally chosen as the outfit blogger. What does it have to do with me? Internally chosen? You don't know yet? Chenza pounded towards the meeting room. They're talking about it right now. In the early stage, he will provide it for free. Once the account grows, we will give him a discount on the live streaming sales fees. How do you, a finance guy, know so much? Chenza shrugged his shoulders. I have my own channels. I wanted to ask more, but the assistant suddenly called me. Xiao Wei, come over for a meeting. I entered the meeting room a bit confused. He Qiang and Chuang Fan looked surprised to see me, but only for a moment, then looked normal again. Long time no see. Hello, senior. I didn't expect you to still remember me. Of course I do, when your guitar club rehearsed before. I often went to join the fun. Right, using joining the fun as an excuse. To get close to Liu Ruyan. Yes, senior always brought delicious food every time he came. Back then, I told Ruyan. You are cut out to be a model. If you are the one on camera, then I have confidence. The account will definitely grow. Liu Ruyan looked at me with a hint of pride in her eyes. I glared at her, planning to settle the score with her later. Zhuang Fan asked. The photographer beside him. What do you think, Shaya? The photographer pushed her glasses, staring at me with burning eyes. Zhuang Fan smiled and said, let me introduce Xia. She will be fully responsible for the subsequent shooting. Don't mind it. He Jiang and Xia were thrilled when they saw the model. They got excited right away. Xia held her hand out to me. She was grinning so wide you could only see her teeth, not her eyes. Hey Jiang, we can definitely help each other succeed. I shook his hand. I gave an awkward little chuckle. Zhuang Fan closed the folder in front of him. Then it settled. Later I'll have my assistant send a contract over. Liu Ruyan stood up and held her hand out to him. Pleasure working with you. Zhuang Zuo. His tone was distant but polite, perfectly measured with workplace etiquette. But Zhuang Fan didn't seem very happy with being called Zhuang Zuo. He held Liu Ruyan's hand and said, just call me Bai Fan. Liu Ruyan smiled faintly, neither agreeing nor disagreeing. Are you free tonight? Let's have dinner together. I'm afraid I can't today. Another day my treat. Zhuang Fan looked disappointed, but he didn't press it. Okay, after seeing Zhuang Fan off. Boss, I didn't agree to this. Why are you deciding for me? You're forcing an employee to do extra work. I won't do it. Absolutely not. Liu Ruyan adjusted her glasses and raised one finger. Then she opened her palm. Good lord. It was my rent for a whole month. I really had no reason to refuse. Liu Ruyan really knows how to get to me. I put on a flattering smile. Boss, you're so wise. Xia recommended a lot of fashion influencers to me, both domestic and international. She's a professionally trained photographer, and she also minored in fashion design while studying abroad. With her guidance, I learned a bit about styling and fashion. After preparing for over half a month, we finally started shooting. 4 outfits took a full 10 hours. Thank goodness Xia has a good temper. Patiently adjusting my poses, my gaze and expressions. The process was pretty rough, but the photos turned out great. Even someone as picky as Liu Ruyan couldn't find much to criticize when she saw the final shots. Is the promo post plan ready? She asked as I handed over the document. It's ready, boss, based on Tuang's company's customer base. I set the target audience for the account as working men aged 25 to 35, covering styles like office, casual, and sports, as well as situations like blind dates and hanging out with the guys. The first phase plan includes 5 posts with images and text plus corresponding videos. The main goal is to pinpoint our position accurately in the traffic pool and start paid boosting from phase 2. To attract followers aiming to hit 10,000 within a month. I rattled it all off in one go. And when I looked up, I realized Liu Ruyan was staring at me. No idea whether she was even listening. Liu Ruyan gave a light cough and came back to herself. Your outfit today is nice. You actually look like a styling blogger. I laughed. Xia picked it out for me. Is my plan okay? Liu Ruyan snapped the folder shut. Go with your approach. Then get back to work. I headed out. Wait. Liu Ruyan called me back. You call Zhuang Fan senior, but you call me boss. You used to call me senior sister. She sounded like a kid asking for candy. Because you're the boss, calling you senior sister at the company doesn't feel appropriate. Liu Ruyan touched her hair lightly. In private, you can call me senior sister. Okay, got it, boss. Boss Liu Ruyan. And what about my lunch? Forgot? I held up 3 fingers. Next time for sure. In fact, I have said this sentence several times. Previously promised Liu Ruyan to bring her food, but ended up not bringing it even once. Liu Ruyan took out a bento box from her drawer. By the time you bring it, it'll be too late. Accidentally made too much last night. You take it and eat. My pupils dilated in shock. Aren't you unable to cook? Liu Ruyan, is that the point? 2 pretty eyebrows twisted together. Unhappiness written all over her face. Don't want it? I respectfully took the bento box. Bowed. Thank you for your grace. Liu Ruyan, get lost. Starting the account was harder than I imagined, but also smoother than I imagined. Zhuang Fan's clothes are simple and elegant, and have a great sense of design. Plus the blessing of Xia's photography skills. My account broke 10,000 followers in just 2 short weeks. I asked Liu Ruyan if we should start selling goods, but she said no rush. Let me build the followers to 100,000 first. To achieve this goal, I spent a lot of time doing homework. Spent at least 3 days a week in the photo studio, studying outfit matching and styling with Xia. We discussed blog post contents every day, sometimes chatting late into the night. Gradually I felt Xia's tone in messaging me getting more and more ambiguous. Looking at me, her gaze also getting more and more passionate. Sometimes she would even zone out. I vaguely felt that Xia had fallen for me. This guess was verified on my birthday. That was a Friday. I was eating my bento. Suddenly a courier holding a large bouquet of jasmine flowers appeared in the company. Mr. He-Qiang? Who is Mr. He-Qiang? I responded, I am your flowers. The courier walked up to me holding the large bouquet of jasmine. Behind him followed a humanoid panda. The panda tilted its head and waved at me. Mr. He-Qiang, are you ready to receive birthday blessings? The voice came through the thick, dull suit, sounding a bit muffled. I had a confused face. What? The courier started playing music, and then started dancing subject with the panda. The panda also pulled in a few colleagues to join. The atmosphere livened up. Colleagues started cheering and jeering. I stood at my desk so awkward I wanted to dig a hole with my toes. Such an extroverted thing. Among the people I know, only Xia could do it. Sure enough, as the song ended, the panda person took off the headgear. Wasn't it exactly Xia? He-Qiang, happy birthday. She said, as a social phobe. I wish I could find a crack in the ground to hide in right now. From the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of Liu Ruyan leaning against the office doorframe, not knowing how long she had been standing there. Colleague, He-Qiang, your girlfriend is so thoughtful. No, we are just normal friends. I hastily explained. Xia smiled and said, I am indeed not his girlfriend yet. Chenzi popped out from nowhere to fan the flames. Then keep it up. Girl, our Xiaotiang is very sought after. The colleagues laughed and joked together. I secretly took a peek. Liu Ruyan, expressionless, could not tell her emotions. She pointed at the bento on my desk. So sumptuous. Made it yourself? I smiled and didn't answer. It's not good to say it in front of my colleagues. This was made by Liu Ruyan, right? Yes, originally I was supposed to cook for him, but it ended up being Liu Ruyan, cooking for me 5 days a week, with different dishes every day. It tastes even better than Aunt Liu's cooking. I reasonably suspect she hired a cooking uncle. I digress, she coaxed. Don't eat too much. He'll treat you to a big meal tonight. Today, well, my work isn't done yet. Working overtime on your birthday. Just do it tomorrow. I can accompany you. Yes, overtime is every day, but birthdays are once a year. I looked at boss Liu Ruyan. Today Liu Ruyan nodded. It was considered a tacit consent. Near the end of work, received Liu Ruyan's message. Jia asked, where are you eating? Why is she asking this? Could it be she wants to tag along for the meal? If I were treating, bringing her along wouldn't matter. But today she is treating. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to bring her, right? But I still sent the restaurant's address over. Liu Ruyan. He'll drop you off. No need to trouble yourself. He'll take a taxi. That's settled. All right, the bossy female CEO doesn't allow others to refuse. A 20-minute drive, speechless all the way. I don't know why. I feel a bit guilty. Me dating Xia. Will Liu Ruyan be unhappy? But this guilt comes inexplicably. If not anyone to her. Why would she be unhappy? Even if she is my boss. She can't interfere with my contact with the opposite sex, right? Thinking messily in my head. We arrived at the destination in no time. Drink less alcohol. Liu Ruyan parked the car and exhorted. I hummed in agreement. Thanks, senior sister. Liu Ruyan paused for a moment. She leaned her upper body towards me and opened the glove box in front of me. A blue gift box appeared in front of me. I originally wanted to take after work you to dinner and then give it to you. I didn't expect Xia to beat me to it. A bit shocked. For me? Open it and see. It's a watch. During the spring festival at Liu Ruyan's house, Aunt Liu and I were watching TV. Liu Ruyan was reading a book on the side. Aunt Liu, the watch the male lead is wearing looks pretty good, huh? It looks good. I like it too. The male lead was wearing exactly this model. So Liu Ruyan took my words to heart. The restaurant's environment is very good, and the food is also very delicious. Xia kept looking for topics, but I was a bit absent-minded, checking my phone from time to time, wondering if Liu Ruyan would send me a message. But she didn't. After finishing the meal, we went for a stroll along Binjiang Road and talked a lot about gaining followers. It was already 10:30 when I got home. Liu Ruyan still hadn't sent me a message. I was a bit disappointed. Got up to draw the curtains, but caught a glimpse of parked downstairs. A Maserati. A familiar figure was leaning against the car door. I only saw a little scarlet flickering. Liu Ruyan. The street light was dim. I couldn't see clearly. I quickly dialed Liu Ruyan's number. The person downstairs took out her phone and brought it close. I looked at her from afar. It really was her. My heart felt like a little deer bumping around wildly. I didn't speak. Neither did Liu Ruyan. We stayed silent like this for a good while. She suddenly chuckled softly and waved at me. Happy birthday, she said. A bold thought popped into my head. Liu Ruyan, she likes me. I started replaying every little detail with Liu Ruyan, from the past to the present, especially during the spring festival, when she took me home. The more I thought about it, the more I felt this girl liked me. But how could that be possible? Someone as amazing as Liu Ruyan. How could she like someone as ordinary as me? I lost my composure. My awkwardness flared up. I started avoiding Liu Ruyan. When she came to talk about work, I kept my head up, not daring to look at her. When she asked me questions, I reported at 3x speed and bolted. She still brought me meals, but I found all sorts of excuses to refuse. If I couldn't refuse, I'd give them to Chenzi to eat. Liu Ruyan noticed my abnormal behavior. I knew she knew why I was acting abnormal. She also knew that I knew she knew why I was acting abnormal, but she didn't ask, and I didn't say anything either. Adults are all about tacit understanding. This state lasted for a week. A week later, Liu Ruyan went on a business trip. She was gone for over half a month. I was able to throw myself completely into work and seriously build my account. By the time she came back, my awkwardness had gotten better, and my account followers reached 100,000. I could start live stream selling. Zhu Fan organized a gathering, saying it was to celebrate the successful account launch, but she had secretly told me. Brother Shuang had repeatedly invited your boss Liu to dinner. Boss Liu was either busy or had something else going on. Brother Shuang had no other choice but to organize this gathering. I smiled, so that was it. I looked across the round table. Liu Ruyan and Zhuang Fan were discussing something in low voices. Zhuang Fan had a smile on his face, his mouth opening and closing. Liu Ruyan nodded frequently, chiming in from time to time. The word well-matched inexplicably popped into my head, bringing an inexplicable sourness. After a few rounds of drinks, I was a bit tipsy and went to the restroom to sober up a bit. Unexpectedly, Zhuang Fan followed me. He smiled at me. I heard Ruyan brings you a bento every day. How did he know? I didn't deny it, saying she just made too much and couldn't finish it. Zhuang Fan pursed his lips and smiled. You actually believe that? I didn't speak. He continued. Back in school, I already felt Ruyan treated you differently. Did she? I don't think so. I knew Ruyan earlier than you did. I know her. He stared at me. Yi Tiang. I'm very jealous of you. I smiled awkwardly. You have a good background, senior, and the one who's jealous of you. He smiled, took out a business card from his bag, and handed it to me. Do you know Martin? A top-tier model agent. I know him very well. I can recommend you to him. I knew him, the living legend of the modeling world. The worst models he manages are still domestic A-listers. I showed a puzzled expression. Senior brother's going to recommend me to him. Thank Fan nodded. You are a piece of uncut jade. Being an outfit blogger is a bit of a waste of your talent. But I'm introducing you to Martin. Not just to help you, but also to help myself. It'll be straight with you. I like Ruyan, but with you around, I have no chance. He paused, added that Martin's company is in Shanghai. Understood. He wants me to leave, Liu Ruyan. Then why make it so complicated? Just give me 50 million directly. Wouldn't that be better? Zhuang Fan saw I wasn't speaking and said, I have no ill will towards you. Doing this is just wanting to give you a chance and give myself a chance too. I took the business card. Okay. I will seriously consider it. That night, Liu Ruyan drank a lot. Over a dozen people took turns toasting her. Liu Ruyan refused no one. As for after the banquet ended, she was so drunk she couldn't walk steadily. Zhuang Fan said he would take her home, but she put her hand on my shoulder. No need, President Zhuang. Jiang will take me back. He also drank, you know. Better let my driver take you. Liu Ruyan waved her hand. He'll call a designated driver. Zhuang Fan couldn't persuade her and stopped trying. All right then, when you get home, let me know. Then turned his head to look at me, with a complex look in his eyes, waiting for your news. The night was late. There were few cars on the road. The designated driver drove very fast. It didn't take long to arrive at Liu Ruyan's house. I paid the money and went to open the door for Liu Ruyan. We're home. I said. Liu Ruyan frowned tightly. Her breathing was also a bit rapid, clearly feeling very uncomfortable. Can you walk? Liu Ruyan held the doorframe and got down. Use your back. Just lend a hand. I reached out to support her. She took the opportunity to lean onto me, almost making me lose my footing. Looks quite thin. Why so heavy? She chuckled and breathed against my ear. Want to see? His on purpose. She is definitely doing this on purpose. I suppressed the heat inside and supported her to the door as quickly as possible. What is the password? Your birthday. My birthday. I looked up at her. She also lowered her eyes to look at me. My heart kept thumping. Don't know if it's hers or mine. Opened the door and entered the room. I fumbled for the switch, but was pinned against the wall by Liu Ruyan. The next second, a kiss with a strong smell of alcohol landed on my lips. Liu Ruyan seemed to want to pour all her long-suppressed emotions into this kiss. Extremely aggressive. With such strength that I couldn't help but cry out. But as soon as I opened my mouth, it was invaded, almost turning into a blurry whimper. Oh my goodness. This is my first kiss. The usually gentle, aloof, and reserved woman is like a wild beast right now, wishing she could swallow me into her stomach. I was kissed by her, out of breath, before she finally let me go. Fool, you can breathe when kissing. She said first time, no experience. I replied. Liu Ruyan's body stiffened, chuckled softly, leaned on my shoulder. She confessed to you. Yeah, did you? Agree or not? What about me? What? She raised her head, rubbing my lips with her index finger. If I confessed to you, would you say yes? It was already 12 o'clock when I got home. Chen-Si was staying up late with a face mask on. I sat down on his bed and told about tonight's events. Saying what? Your boss confessed to you? I nodded. Unbelievable, right? I don't believe it either. I asked her. H University is full of handsome guys. How blind are you to like me? And what did she say? She said, you're the blind one, not knowing how good you are. After saying that, I covered my face and stomped my feet. Chen-Si ripped off his face mask. Goodness, she is right. You are very good. Hee-Chang, you just lost your confidence because of that jerk girl in high school. Having said that, Hee-Chang, do you also like Liu Ruyan? A little bit, I added. It's hard not to like someone like her. If you like her, go for it. Chen-Si slapped his thigh in excitement. Mutual affection. She's also a bossy female big shot. What are you hesitating for? Chen-Si pushed me out. Worthless. Think she was so drunk. And even force-asked you. Why did you even come back? Go, hurry back. And make it a done deal tonight. Take her down. I handed Martin's business card to Chen-Si. And what Zhuang Fan told me. Word for word. Relayed. Chen-Si fell silent after hearing it. Option A, be the man of a bossy female, CEO. Have a sweet, but uncertain romance for the future. Option B, go to Shanghai to take a chance. Turn a bicycle into a motorcycle. It is indeed hard to choose. What do you think? Chen-Si asked, after a long time. I sat up with a whoosh. Women are not as good as building a career. I want to go to Shanghai. Going to work the next day. I was very nervous in my heart. Worried that meeting Liu Ruyan would be awkward for both of us. But facts proved I overthought it. Liu Ruyan had a hangover and didn't come to work. I was glad to avoid the awkwardness, but also felt a bit disappointed. During the lunch break, she sent me a message. Got too drunk last night. Doge Liu Ruyan make. Although I got too drunk. But I remember everything from last night. Doge Liu Ruyan. You don't believe I like you? It's a bit sudden. Liu Ruyan, when we were in school, I didn't talk to anyone else. Only talk to you. Isn't that obvious enough? My dad said, I mention you every year. Do you really not understand? Hee-Chang, I really like you very much. Be my boyfriend, okay? My heartbeat skipped a beat. A sweet and tingling feeling spread from my brain to my limbs and bones. I typed the word okay and deleted it. The chat box kept showing I was typing. Liu Ruyan waited a long time without getting a reply and sent another sentence. If you dare to send that dog emoji again, I will confess to you at the company and forcefully kiss you, you hooligan. That was my first kiss. Liu Ruyan, I will take responsibility. If you are willing to give me a chance. I curled up the corners of my lips, my heart filled with an unmelting sweetness. I sighed softly and replied, you like me, and I'm very happy. You are a good person. Liu Ruyan, thank you. First time receiving a friendzone card. Is this a rejection? No, it's just that I'm resigning. When I got home, Liu Ruyan was waiting downstairs. What are you doing here? I asked, but she didn't answer. And asked in return, why are you suddenly going to Shanghai? I told her about Zhuang Fan recommending me to go, but didn't mention Zhuang Fan's reason for doing so. Liu Ruyan thought for a moment. This is a good thing. I support your decision. So you rejected me because you don't want a long-distance relationship? Of course not. This is considered a deal. I accepted Zhuang Fan's resources, so I must do as he wishes. And leave you. I nodded. Yes, I don't want a long-distance relationship. Besides, women are not as important as building a career. Affect the speed at which I draw my sword. Liu Ruyan. Actually, Senior Zhuang is he has a good family background, good looks, good at everything. He is also a male CEO. He is an equal match for you. Everyone can tell that he likes you. How about, before I could finish speaking, Liu Ruyan pressed the back of my head and kissed me. Just as domineering as last night, leaving no room for me to refuse. After a long time, she released my lips. The one I like is you. And you like me too. I can feel it, Hee-Chang. What are you running away from? Why are you pushing me to someone else? I let out a sigh, feeling a surge of sorrow. Liu Ruyan. Have you ever read To the Oak? She gave H&M. You want to say you must be a great tree, right? Do you know? Every time I see you and Senior Zhuang together, I feel inferior. You two look like the male and female leads in an idol drama, while I am just a supporting character. I don't doubt your sincere feelings for me, but for two people to be together, just liking each other, isn't enough. Right now, I simply don't match up. This is an objective fact. I have never been in a relationship, but I hope I can stand shoulder to shoulder with my girlfriend. Instead of looking up to her one-sidedly, Liu Ruyan stared at me for a long time. She held my face in her hands and pressed her forehead against mine. I understand. When Chia learned I was going to Shanghai, without a second word, she followed me here. I was a bit surprised, but she just waved her hand. Her tone relaxed. I do like you, and I want to pursue you too, but I didn't follow you to Shanghai on a whim. I am a freelance photographer. My profession allows me to go wherever I want. Besides, you are the best model I've ever met. I chuckled and shook my head. I already have someone I like. She froze for a moment. That's okay. What if one day you stop liking her? No kidding. Have you thought it through? Going to Shanghai. Yeah, I thought it through. I'm not joking either. I can't do anything about her. Let's be clear first. I won't be responsible for you. She sneered. Fine. The pace in Shanghai is even faster than in Nanzhou. I usually study and train with Martin. Whenever I have time, I ask Jia out for photo shoots and continue making posts. I grew this account single-handedly. It's like my child. I can't bear to give it up. Ruyan signed an agreement with me. I continue running the account and the income from live stream sales. She gives to me. She said fans are used to seeing my face. Changing bloggers might lose followers, but I faintly guessed. She was worried I'd be too financially tight in Shanghai and use this way to help me. I suddenly read. Alice, it seems Liu Ruyan has always been like this, silently taking care of me, silently lending a helping hand when I needed help. I was grateful for her treating me well, and also out of my liking for her, I secretly decided to run the account well. So I was very busy every day. Every day was very fulfilling, although it was tiring. I gained a lot over the past few months. Followers also broke through 500,000. Not long after, Martin arranged for me to walk a runway. I gradually entered the public eye, gaining a little fame. Just when everything was moving in a good direction, a post exposing my dark history appeared on the trending list. The whistleblower said I was promiscuous, hooking up with Boss Kian to make her spend heavily on buying followers for my account, and getting entangled with a photographer, stepping on her shoulders to hook up with Martin. It also came with a few pictures. One was me at the hotel door, helping a drunk Liu Ruyan into a car. One was me and Xia after a photo shoot, heads together checking the camera. I was dying of laughter. These were clearly the most normal photos, yet they were used as evidence of my promiscuity. It really is just one picture at the start, and all the dark history is completely fabricated. Liu Ruyan's phone call came very soon. It's Yang Xiaowei's doing. Yang Xiaowei, I thought for a while before remembering. Your childhood sweetheart. Probably extremely jealous. Wanting to cause you some trouble. Don't worry, I will solve it. I'll leave it to you then. I thought Liu Ruyan would use this wave of public opinion to hype up some popularity. After all, bad publicity is still publicity, as long as it gains followers. Sacrificing my reputation is nothing. But Liu Ruyan actually stepped in personally and issued a statement. I am Liu Ruyan. Yes, I like Heqiang, but he hasn't agreed to be my boyfriend yet. How can I win over Heqiang? Waiting online, quite urgent. Heqiang, when Chenze sent the screenshot, I was drinking water. I directly choked. Liu Ruyan's follower count is in the millions. The trending list exploded. The maloniating netizens started building threads under Liu Ruyan's statement. Sister, you haven't been active for years. Others all said you were running a company, and it turns out you are chasing a boy, and the one you're chasing is me. I'm going to throw a tantrum. Help, the big boss from 10,000 years ago. Pops up only to make a sim statement. Who noticed? Rumored girlfriend number 2 is the famous photographer Shiya. No way, no way. Shiya, help. Heqiang must have saved the earth in his past life. What kind of domineering female CEO script is this? What kind of dark secret is this? The photos look very normal. There are no intimate actions at all. What kind of exposure is this? The person's brain has a hole. Biting randomly without any evidence in hand. Public opinion is overwhelming, and the wind has changed from crusading to eating melons. I was just a small internet celebrity, unexpectedly pushed to the cusp of the storm. Out of 10 trending searches, 6 are about me, Shiya, watching the fun, and not minding making things bigger. Also made a post. I am Shiya. Yes, I also like Heqiang, but he seems to only treat me as a friend. Almighty. Netizens, can you give me some advice? How can I defeat Liu Ruyan and win over Heqiang? The trending search exploded. Martin sent me a message. Not bad, Heqiang. I've managed so many models. You're the first one who can stir things up like this. Strike while the iron is hot. I'll arrange a few more shows for you. Prepare well. Thinking about it, I reposted Liu Ruyan's post and captioned, thanks to President Liu for the trending spot, borrowing the thread to advertise. Then I attached the link to Zhuang Fan's clothing store. One thing is one thing. He introduced me to Martin, and I am grateful in my heart. Anyway, scandals can't be explained clearly. Anyway, rumors stop at the wise. Might as well help Zhuang Fan advertise as a repayment. I thought this matter would stop here, and the heat would slowly go down. Unexpectedly, the maloney-eating masses got even more excited. Heqiang is actually a career-minded guy. What bossy female CEO? What famous photographer? Heqiang only wants to make money. Men focusing on their careers are the most handsome. Love it, love it. Didn't you guys notice? He reposted Liu Ruyan's post. Not Chia's. So he has already made his choice. Reading this made me not know whether to laugh or cry. Not long after, I received a WeChat from Zhuang Fan. Thanks to Junior Brother for the promotion. Senior Brother is too polite. Promoting products is my duty. Zhuang Fan replied with a smiling emoji. After a while, he added, I thought without you, I would have a chance. Facts prove. I underestimated Liu Ruyan's liking for you. You win, I give up. I thought for a long time, and didn't know how to reply. He added, consider being my spokesperson. The reward is generous. Goodness, taking me to make money. That's great. Okay, Senior Brother, let's find time to talk in detail. Because of this incident, my follower count soared. Not only the account as an outfit blogger, but also my personal account. Both reached 1 million followers in a very short time. Yang Yaowai probably couldn't even dream. He originally wanted to step on me, but stepped on a seesaw instead, sending me to a new height. 2 months later, I finished rehearsing, changed clothes, and prepared to go home. Just out of the building, I saw a familiar figure. Liu Ruyan, counting the days. It's been almost half a year since we met. She leaned against the car door, holding a cigarette in her hand. The scarlet light dot twinkling in the night. Just like the night of my birthday. The way he waited downstairs for me. I curled my lips and walked towards him. Liu Ruyan put out the cigarette butt. You changed so much. I tilted my head, becoming confident. I smiled. Yeah. Why are you here? Didn't you say you didn't want a long-distance relationship? So I came. Arrived a few days late, not leaving. Not running the company anymore. If I don't, how will the company support you? I glared at him. Be serious. Ruyan chuckled lightly. I opened a branch company in Shanghai. What? My pupils dilated in shock. I've been busy with this for the past half year, so I haven't come to see you all this time. I was still in shock. Speechless. Liu Ruyan laughed heartily. So excited, you don't even know how to speak. I finally found my tongue. Really or fake, really? He pointed at the office building behind me. The office is already rented. Right upstairs from you. You did this for me, Liu Ruyan. You're actually a love brain. She chuckled lightly, not denying it. Did you look at the internet? Didn't look? What's wrong? Your career fans started arguing with my boyfriend fans, saying that I, a stinky company owner, am not worthy of supermodel Heqiang. I know about this, but I suspect this is the narrative Liu Ruyan brought up herself. After all I said before, I felt I was not worthy of him. Liu Ruyan added. Now netizens are divided into 3 groups. One group ships me and you, one group ships you and Shia. Then what about the other group? This group is the most outrageous. Shipping me and Shia, haha. I couldn't hold back. Laughing so hard I bent forward and backward. Liu Ruyan looked at me dotingly. You see, the long distance problem is solved. You also don't need to worry about not being worthy of me. Now it's my turn to worry about not being worthy. So can you be my boyfriend now? I looked at Liu Ruyan, my eyes full of joy. Stepped forward and hugged